What's good, y'all? You Dub back here again here in 2019. Let's get it. Episode 2 of Unfiltered. And for those who don't know, this is more of a serious tone type segment of videos that I do on my channel. Now, episode 1 of Unfiltered is up raw and uncut in my channel. And it may be down in the description box below. That deals with social media and censorship. This time, this has been a video I've been sitting on for like a couple weeks pretty much. Cause let's just say it's time of year been dealing with the sickness. And stuff's been crazy. Life is crazy sometimes. We all can relate. In these videos, in case you didn't see that one, you may hear more profanity, more explicit language. You may hear more of an unvarnished feel. Some people seem to like that. And the comments were like, thank you for telling it like it is. This is what I do. This is just 100% me. I always keep it 1,000 all the times, but I don't always put things on full blast. I tend to be more entertaining. But let's talk about political correctness, ladies and gentlemen. Something you hear all the time. Something that a lot of people can't say. Something that, some people live by. Something that it's like this ambiguous, nebulous, just vague presence in modern, especially American society. Pretty sure it happens over in Britain and Australia. And every nation has its own ways of doing things. But the question is, I would like to pose before y'all, ladies and gentlemen, where the fuck did political correctness come from? Oh, and by the way, these are the kind of videos that hopefully one day will maybe turn into a podcast series. Who knows? We'll see how much traffic it gets, and you know. But these are the kind of videos you're not gonna hear on radio. You're not gonna hear on TV. You're not going to hear your favorite folks talk about it because it puts them at risk. Because believe it or not, PC culture, even though people who claim to not be PC are still in some way PC. Very few people who claim to be not PC aren't PC. And you can say, well, wonder, how can you make that claim? Isn't that egotistical? Isn't that arrogant, condescending? No. Actions speak louder than words. What you cover speaks louder than words. How you talk about things speaks louder than words. What your approach is speaks louder than words. If, for example, you go by a certain party platform politically, your ass is generally politically correct. Now I know that goes against the mainstream uh pejorative, it goes against the mainstream prejudice. But just because you're not mainstream doesn't mean you're not politically correct. For example, just because you say, well, I support marriage between a man and a woman, does that mean you're not politically correct? I know this is shocking news to some of y'all out here. A lot of your favorite people are they politically correct. You can say, well, wonder how can you make this claim? Goes back to what I asked earlier. What's the source of political correctness? Where did this term even originate? Is there a definitive place? Do we have an etymology for this? Or is it just a concept that just was presented? Right? Is being not politically correct being quote unquote moderate? Does that make you not politically correct? Is being not politically correct you having any sort of sanity, logical and rational thought? Does that make you not politically correct? Does being not politically correct, does being not politically correct means you can say some stuff on the slide and say, but I love you though. No, no. Political correctness. Let's break this down. First of all, what are politics? Politics in bare bones, bare minimum, skeletal version, I'll say this. Politics are us. Okay, what do I mean by that? Anytime you're engaged in discussions, whether at a bar, pub, at a grocery store, with your family, friends, loved ones, two or more people, and you're discussing ideas on how society functions, on how inner workings. It covers a plethora of things: economically, business, family life. If you're dealing with governments or lack thereof, I'm an anarchist. Some people are libertarian minarchists. Some people are about fascism and nationalism. Some people, stay away, hands off. It can engage in spirituality. It covers a wider range of things, right? When you engage in that, you're engaging in politics. If you go back to the American Revolution, what were some of the causes of that? Some of those gents met in what? Coffee shops, tea houses, and stuff, bars and pubs, taverns, and were discussing things. And they're like, you know what? This tax code sucks. Yeah, man, you know what? You're not wrong. What we gonna do about it? Shoot, we might need to take up arms. I mean, that's the oversimplified version of that shit, but it's true. That's how it works out here. How you think grassroots and revolutions start? You think they just, bam, we're just going to march today? No, stuff is organized. Stuff is like people get fed up and get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You get things like the Black Panther Party. You get things like the anti-war movement, okay? The Occupy movement, starting with Occupy Wall Street, and which spread throughout the nation, and I believe parts of different parts of the world as well, okay? So you get with that with politics, meaning us. It starts socially. Now, correctness. Now, this is where the vagueness comes in, because what does it mean to be correct? Is it what the majority says? No, 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 no. And I can do this at another separate time, talking about, societies filled with a bunch of minority groups. If you hear it claimed that a billion people have a certain faith, that's just not true. It's never true. No billion people have a certain faith. A group of people, 300,000. Be very careful. You hear large numbers of the population hold one. They don't. Just not true. It's mathematically impossible as well as empirically deniable. Like, you cannot come up with that to be true. So what is correctness? Correctness falls in line with a certain set of ideologies. For example, law and order. Now, here's where I'll give a very politically incorrect statement. I'm anti-law. Now, a lot of people will actually listen to me when I explain that, or it'll shake to the core. I'm anti-law. I say laws are whimsical. They're inorganic, artificial, and unnatural. They're universally barring. They don't present freedom, and there are other reasons I can go into. They're so loosey-goosey and so situational. They only deal with certain situations, but bar other things. Rules are different. I'm pro rules. Another thing is, as an anarchist, I'm anti-state. I'm anti-elite. I'm anti-Big Brother, and a whole lot of things. A lot of people that's not politically correct. No, it's not hostile. It's not me being, fuck this, fuck that, man. Yeah, yeah. No, none of that nonsense. Or dismissing people. No, it's actually the opposite. Being politically incorrect actually cares about people, because it's saying, I don't believe in classism. I'm not sexist. I'm not ageist. I'm not racist. You see, being politically incorrect says you actually value life. Now, the politically incorrect thing, being pro-life, and what does that mean? Actually valuing all life, especially human life. How can you say you are so supportive of life if you think we should eradicate babies? And yes, they are babies in the room, because what do they come out as? And there are a lot of miscarriages and other things you can talk about. Now you see, well, hey, you're encroaching on me with pro-choice. Did I say you had to agree with me? No. I told you I'm politically incorrect. You see? Political correctness says, this is how you have to believe. Don't encroach on my views. But your views affect me. You say, well, how does pro-choice affect you? You don't have to. Yeah. But wait a second. It affects me when it affects my community. You see? We're all in this together, whether we want to be or not. You know how I also know we're all in this together? Taxation being theft. Now, a lot of people actually hold that, but it's politically incorrect. A lot of people say, well, 3 things guaranteed, 2 things definitely guaranteed, taxes and death. A lot of people, oh, wait, it's a social contract. I didn't sign shit, and as far as I know, contracts you can't sign if you're a minor, not a major. Where was the contract that I signed that says I have to have my pay, my wages garnished? There's no such thing as a social contract. You're born and enslaved into this nonsense. You're putting invisible chains. Taxation is theft. Explain how taxation isn't theft. They put with a gun to your head or with threat of you being kidnapped and imprisoned if you don't pay. And then sometimes it doesn't even get to that point. Before you even see, clink clink, companies just have to write off some of your money just cause. Well, the government, it issues the money. I could go on and on about that. Freedom of speech. Today is very politically correct, and actually it's been very politically correct. I mean, incorrect. Excuse me. You say it's politically correct. People don't actually believe in freedom of speech. Freedom of speech has always been politically incorrect, including in the United States. The founding fathers put that in there because they themselves were politically incorrect. How do I know this? The fact that rappers in the past had to fight for freedom of speech. Okay, the fact that different musicians and stuff were monitored by the FBI. The fact that people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was a Nobel Peace Prize winner, was monitored by the FBI. The fact that the NSA, the CIA, and various alphabet agencies are monitoring our speech. There's no freedom of speech. The fact that if you say something wrong on airwaves, your ass is canned for your job. Your career's done data. The fact that you can be a black sheep, blackballed for speaking out on an issue if you're an actor, if you're an athlete, it doesn't even have to be anything crazy. Where's the freedom of speech? Where's the freedom of quote-unquote religion? Where's the freedom of spirituality? Now, I ain't going to say you got to be out here committing all kinds of atrocities. But if you hold a different perspective with the Bible or in certain things with Islam or with Judaism or... Well, supposedly 70% of the United States is Christian, really. Why is it that when you stand up for what the Bible says, oh, now we got some problems? Now, I ain't going to say out here being offensive to people, out here attacking people, but just speaking your mind. Now, I may agree or disagree with you, but you have a right to say that going into freedom of speech, freedom of thought. You have to think a certain kind of way. You have to think a certain way with the LGBTQ community, even if you're supportive. If you say one thing wrong, look at the backlash that Dave Chappelle said. And Dave Chappelle seems to be supporting shit. You see what I'm saying? Politically incorrect when you make people uncomfortable. Political correctness is tippy-toeing around things, walking on eggshells, putting the veils over people's eyes. Don't just say it's mainstream. I see it on social media. Well, not so much because I've been DL and I've not been so much besides YouTube on social media much these days. When you start talking, I'll give an example. Back around when the almost Egyptian revolution went early on before that before even the Syrian civil war, I was talking about if the United States is going to step in now. If you're actually going to have people stationed, don't send U.S. troops, don't. These people are fighting for freedom. Y'all supposed to be about freedom. But y'all know good and well if anyone attacked America, the United States. Y'all know good and well if anybody attacked Britain and Western powers, or we'd be all up in arms. I'll up the ante. What about the time when, I don't know, around 2015 or so, Paris got attacked, Belgium got attacked? I respect, But why come when Central American nations, when South American nations, when African nations, they get attacked? You don't hear it. People kept bringing up, well, what about Nigeria and Kenya when they got attacked and suffered worse tragedies to these quote-unquote terrorist attacks? Won't hear shit. Is it because people have a darker complexion, a different melanin count? That's politically incorrect. You know, or people all over, oh, because it hits to home. You know, you talk about school shootings and stuff. These mass shootings. Well, how about people don't talk about the issues going on here? Oh, mental health. Nobody gives a damn about mental health. You start talking about mental health like I do. Oh, it's politically incorrect. How could I say? Autism isn't a fucking spectrum. You can't have a damn spectrum. It makes no fucking sense. Makes no damn sense, son. How about we actually properly diagnose people for once? Instead of trying to give a blanket statement, it's like, oh, weight loss, just take this drink or just take this pill. Just get on Jenny Craig and Atkins diet. What the fuck kind of dumb shit is that? Makes no damn sense. There's no blanket thing for individual. You go to your, whether it be a doctor or a nutritionist, or find out what your body needs, salt intake and different stuff. How much you need to do this. All of us have different genetic makeups. We're not going to lose weight, and some of us are built to be bigger. It's just how it is. Men and women, we just have different differences. A lot of it is lifestyle choices, diet, exercise, the old things that we've been known about since we were children. You see? Being politically correct is comfortable, is blasé, is malaise. I'm trying to remember. It's where you're like, you're fitting everywhere where you don't rock anybody's boat, where you're not making an impact. That's living politically correct. You can say, well, I hold certain views. How are you living to affect them, right? A lot of folks want to say is they support capitalism or they support socialism, they support communism. Here's the thing, how I know you're actually about something or you're not. Have you attempted to build a business, to build an enterprise? Have you ever tried with entrepreneurship? How can you say you support capitalism if you yourself have never tried to be a capitalist or to be in business at all? How can you say you're a socialist when you don't even fucking understand socialism? Or communist and trying to slam things down people's throats? Communism is voluntary interactions with people economically. Socialism doesn't have big daddy government dictating what you do. Socialism isn't gynocentric. Socialism is about workers and labor rights coming together and having the means of production. Socialism is what they actually did and act. Ooh, this was just socialism. Maybe if you want to say it's communism. That's because a lot of y'all are still in McCarthyan era political correctness, the bullshit from the 1950s and beforehand. You don't understand because you have, I've read Marx. I've read, really? Then why are you spewing what they were spewing back in the 50s? I told y'all, I'm politically incorrect. A lot of y'all out here, oh, you know, I don't mind what people do. Yeah, the fuck you do. Because I guarantee you, let's say you're a straight dude for a lot of y'all out here. If a dude came on to you, I've been open. I don't agree with certain gay, lesbian, bi, trans, pansexual lifestyles, transsexual lifestyles. I don't agree with it, but I love the people. I hang out all the time around. And a lot of folks know that. They love me. Because I see people as people. See what I mean? I may disagree with you. Most of my friends, you know, wonder is you're a big, you're Carter Eric. You should see my feed of all the kinds of stuff that I listen to, all the differing viewpoints and the opinions that other people have. You should see all the people around me, all the groups of people that represent black, white, Latino, brown, brown, red, yellow. It doesn't really matter. I got folks who I'm cool with all across the globe. That is politically incorrect. You can say, well, globalist agenda. Globalist agenda is the same agenda that's always been. All aristocratic and nobility based, elitist. It's not fucking globalism in its true sense. It's not coming together in a utopian or collective mentality where we all help each other out. Globalists said we want to run shit. It's the same old, same old. The new world order, that can be something I'll talk about in a further installment, episode 3. We'll deal with the NWO, and we ain't talking about Hulk Hogan, Steve Nash, and such. I mean, not Steve Nash, not the basketball player. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Told y'all this is uncut. But anyways, you get my point hopefully by this. I'm not trying to have this video run too long. The point I'm saying is politically correct is anything that goes in between the lines of what is viewed as acceptable. Just because you, like, let's say we were playing a sport, right? Right? Let's say it was baseball. I'll use three different sports and I'll end this. Baseball. Just because you throw sidearm doesn't mean, I throw sidearm, so that makes me different. No, it doesn't. I'll tell you something that makes you different. If, for example, a coach said everybody's bunting, we're gonna bunt at any time. Let's say an MLB manager said we're gonna bunt, we're gonna hit, we're gonna do anything, claw and scratch to win. If you can get a homer, good. But we're gonna get line drives. We're gonna play small ball. You don't see small ball in the days in MLB. It's about big hits, big bucks. I guarantee you it would be fascinating and interesting to watch. Watch the Little League World Series. Basketball. In today's culture, and I'll tell you something that's not politically correct. Instead of the shooting and the offense, how about we slow it down and slam it down their throats down low? We play bully ball, physical, basketball. That don't mean you can't shoot from the outside because you need to be able to shoot mid-range and long range. But we just gonna beat them up. We gonna, let's say a GM puts a bunch of big folk. Let's say Philly's GM decided, all right, we already got Ben Simmons, who's a big guard. We already got Joel Embiid. They got Al Horford, and let's just say they get Andre Drummond. You know what I'm saying? Let's say Steven Adams. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of big dudes. And they just build a team of the Monstars. If you remember Space Jam, they just build a big ass lineup that just is going to destroy you inside. You can't stop them. You can how are they going to? Yeah, you can get threes, but you're going to take a bunch of high percentage shots. You can't defend them. They're probably going to be able to defend your ass because when your shots are not falling, you're going to have to go inside. And you're going into the land of the trees. Twin Towers, San Antonio Spurs with the big fundamentalist Tim Duncan and the Admiral David Robinson. Anybody? You go against the grain of what the culture dictates that you need to do. And in fact, too many are just doormats. They just kowtow. Oh, yes, master. I have to do. Yes, master. I have to do like everybody else. That's how your ass loses. That's how your ass don't win. Those who are visionaries, who are entrepreneurs, win because they do different. The Patriots are one of the only teams that decided, let's actually utilize our tight ends. Peyton Manning, when he was with the Indianapolis Colts, is one of the few that was actually utilizing. The Dallas Cowboys, some of these teams were actually utilizing. There was a few teams before, but let's actually use the tight ends. That was politically incorrect because everybody else was just using them as run blockers and stuff. Oh, the running backs just run the football. No, the running backs can do a lot of things. They can throw, they can catch, and now you see it. Now it's become, that's how you evolve. When you're politically incorrect, you help society to evolve. Too many people allow themselves to be brainwashed by PC. It's a mindset which dictates the culture, and it becomes the law of the land. When the law of the land is initiate chaos, people are going to do that. When the law of the land says, keep your religion and your politics to yourself. How about you speak out when stuff happens? And I don't mean cause a Twitter mob. I mean have an intellectual, articulate voice and a viewpoint that has people to think differently. If you want to change things, you have people to think differently. Unexpected one to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on this matter. And I would love to hear what y'all say. What do y'all think about this concept? What do y'all think about this discussion? Do you hate it? Do you like, bro, I think you're off base? Let me know. I would love to hear what y'all have to say and have a discussion or debate with y'all anytime. This channel is a free speech place as much as you can find anywhere on the internet. And I hope it gains some traction because these are important, imperative conversations that we need to have. All right, y'all. Peace. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night.